Authors need websites. But the issue comes into how do you become more discoverable without any real substance beyond buy my books or a little bit about me? Enter blog posts. Now, before you start freaking out and saying, oh gosh, here we go, he's telling me I gotta do yet another thing, it's okay, cool your engines. What if you had someone do it for you? Now, this is gonna require just a little bit of work, but not much work. In fact, that's why I hired 5 different article and blog post writers on Fiverr, do a little bit of advanced recon for you. Some people you could potentially use for your blogging needs, so that way you can continue to do the things that you enjoy doing while growing your website. Full disclosure, this video is sponsored by the fine folks over at Fiverr. Listen folks, one of the best ways to give back to this channel and also help support the sponsors is go over and visit our sponsor link at daylinks.com/Fiverr and order any number of these services. And I'm going to be naming some of them. All the links are going to be down in the description down below. Stick around to the very end because I'm going to do the full reveal and some of my thoughts on each of these 5 writers, and I'm going to select only one of those writers to put together a blog post on this very video. I know that's rather meta, right? They're gonna write a blog post about a video about blog writers who write blog posts about videos. Oh boy. Let's discuss the value of author websites. Listen, it's mission critical for you to have your own little space, your own personal space that you can send your readers to. In the event, say for instance, Amazon KDP, Ingram Spark, Drafted Digital, or any of those platforms decide they've had enough of your shenanigans and they go ahead and pull the plug, pull the carpet out from underneath you, you at least have a website that your readers can find you. So that way they can interact with you and follow you wherever that you go. And let's face it, having a website makes you more discoverable through search engines. One of the big ones is Google. But just doing the websites alone as they are is just not enough. That's where blog posts come into play. It gets it to where you're more discoverable because you have content that is indexed into search engines. So this is where it's kind of nice having some blog posts, and quite a few blog posts make you even more discoverable. But what if you don't have the time to be writing out blog posts? Let's say you're just already having to write, you're having to market and promote, you're having to edit, you're having to manage all these things. This is where I say, hire a professional. This is a nice thing that you can be able to do. Now, in previous videos, you've seen me hire out different sellers over on Fiverr. I've had my cover designs done. I did marketing and promotion. I had editing and proofreading done. I've had formatting, you name it. It's time for us to see if we can hire out some blog post writers who can be able to do a good job of representing my brand, or in some instances, representing your brand appropriately. So what I was gonna go ahead and do is hire out a blog post writer for each of those Fiverr videos. So I was able to kind of put together some content. So this kind of shows you all you need to do is maybe sit down, shoot a very brief video, or put together a simple outline for some of these blog post writers and send it on over to them. It's kind of a good, oh gosh, it stacks more value though, having a YouTube channel, I'm not gonna lie, because you end up doing an article based on a YouTube video. So then you're able to embed that video into the blog post article, which of course helps out with what's called backlinking, which makes you more discoverable, of course, for YouTube and for Google itself. And then of course it blows up your website. All right, so let's get to ordering the gigs. The very first thing is we're gonna go ahead and visit daylinks.com/Fiverr. Now, I went ahead and I searched for a blog post writer, and I gotta admit that I tried out a couple of people that didn't quite work out, but I was able to narrow it down to 5 people. What I'm actually looking for is clarity, fully edited and readable blog posts. All right, it doesn't need to be fancy formatting, but I need to get it to where it makes sense when I read it. Also, it needs to be at least 1,000 words with no fluff. I recommend that if you're going to do a blog post, make it at least 500 words to as much as 1,500 words. Obviously, the more words that you have, the more stuff that's going to be indexed by the search engine, of course, making you more discoverable. I found 1,000 words is probably more than sufficient with a lot of my blog posts. what I'm not looking for here. I'm not looking for regurgitated content from my video. So I don't want someone just to simply download the transcript from my video and then just put it on there, because obviously I could just do that myself and that just makes zero sense. And if you want to go through the hassle of recording a video, getting an automated transcript from something like, say, YouTube, or even paying for Rev, more power to you. But again, I'm trying to save myself a little bit of time and heartache and have somebody put together something that's meaningful. So from the lowest to the highest cost, this is what I ended up purchasing, and of course we're going to do a reveal right after this. The very first gig was Arisha. Her basic gig was $5. It was, I will turn video podcasts into catchy, optimized blogs, up to 20 minutes of video, topic research, and content development. Okay, I was sold. Next one was Iram. She had a standard gig for $30. I will be an SEO article writer or blog post writer, up to 1,000 words, 2 focus keywords, and topic research. The next one was Court Honey. He had a standard gig for $80. I'll be your technical SEO content writer, up to 1,000 words, 3 focus keywords, topic research, references, and citations. The next one was for Content World. It was a premium gig at $100. Now, this was one of the only premium ones I ended up selecting. I will write a 500-word blog or web page, SEO optimized UK native. For the premium one, you got 1,000 words, 4 focus keywords, topic research, references and citations, and last but not least, this one was recommended by a couple of my friends here over at Fiverr. They said, hey, go take a look at this guy. We really do like him. So his name is Apaskar, and he has a standard service for $165. I'll write a stellar article for your blog or website. That would include 1,200 words, 3 focus keywords, topic research, references, and citations. Let's go ahead and take a look at each one of these gigs now. Keep in mind, if you just want to go ahead and read those blog posts, I will go ahead and put a link inside the description down below to each one of those so you can see it. I will let you know that before I end up launching some of these things, I will clean up some of the text just a little bit more, because there's a little bit of like that control freak in me. I want to make sure that it's fully edited and it represents my brand 100%. But for the most part, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Okay, so I've already processed the 5 different gigs from each of these blog writers. I just went ahead, accepted them sight unseen, because I didn't want to volley these things back and forth. So some of them are going to have just a few little indiscrepancies and some typos and issues, but for the most part, I've already kind of peeked and it looks pretty good. So we're going to start it out with the very first gig with Arisha. She was the $5 gig. Okay, so right away, Arisha just shows a lot of flair in this one. For 5 easy ways to make money on Fiverr with or without skills. This was a fun video for me to originally do. She went a little overboard on the text. Honestly, I could have just done without the fancy text. You know, we can probably just go in here and switch everything to Times New Roman if I wanted to here. So that way it's just a little bit more clean. There is probably just a little too much of this coloring of the text. Again, probably could have done without the highlighting and such. But overall, going through the post, she loosely followed my instructions. What she ended up doing, I could see, was she grabbed the video, she saw the transcript, she downloaded the transcript and tried to make the most of it. I can see there's just some issues with wording. So for instance, I know I babble, and you can already see in a video, and it was really nice becoming a seller. I found quite a few of those small indiscrepancies in here. You could see she threw in a couple little images. I'm not sure what the licensing is on some of these images, so I'm not sure that I'm comfortable in using these on my blog post, to be honest with you. So the thing that also threw me off was at the very end, thank you for reading my blog, bye. No, that's a hard no. That might work for a younger generation, but for my generation, definitely not. But for $5, not too bad. The next one was done by Iram, and she ran $30. She did the I purchased 5 book marketing services on Fiverr, and this happened. This was a pleasant surprise, and she actually inserted some notes here to where I can slip in some links. She recommended, a few different areas to kind of do some inbound and outbound links, which is, by the way, a great way to build search engine optimization for your blog post articles. If you could put in about 2 inbound or 2 outbound then you will definitely increase your likelihood of being discovered. So overall though, this was pretty good. I could see again, like this was one that they probably used the transcript, but honestly painted a bit outside the lines. I enjoyed this one so much more than the first gig, but for 1,300 words, I'd say this is well done. IRAM, I would say breath of fresh air. 2 big thumbs up. Let's get on over to the third gig. This is the one where I hired 10 designers on Fiverr to do the same cover. This is done by Court Honey. He ran about $80 for the gig. Not bad. It's a little bit more expensive than the last one. I mean, over 2 times as much, nearly 3 times as much. But I was willing to give it a shot, and I'm gonna tell you, this was great. I mean, he had to go through and cover 10 designs, and he really went and put extra details that I didn't even mention in the video. There's a keen eye for detail. You can tell that Court Honey went through and took his time and really chronicled the entire process. There's probably one nitpicky thing I have in here, and I think where he referred to me as the client. So this inclusion prevents future issues when the client uses the commission work for commercial purposes. Again, it was supposed to be kind of more personalized. Most likely I'll fix it when I go on in there. Honestly, Court, you did a fantastic job. If I could give 3 thumbs up, I would, but we're gonna give you 2 thumbs up and 3 banana stickers. Fantastic work for $80 and about 1,200 words. You can't beat that with a stick. I love it. This next one is a UK-based writer and comes at a bit more of a premium. His name is For the Content World, all one word. And his price was a bit higher. This was at $100. Okay, so take a deep breath, because when I went in here, this was magnificent. The formatting, he put in a meta description. Nobody else before this did a meta description. This is an experienced blog writer. This is a person who knows what it takes. You even see he put in keywords, 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 keywords. He highlighted all the keywords that he put into this. This is awesome because he shows me,
hey, I've got all these keywords that are gonna help you get indexed by search engines.
So that was huge. This was a post, kind of like the last one, but even better in that you could tell he used the video, but he went into a deep dive onto this one. This one probably took the longest of all the gigs to fulfill, but for good reason, because when I went and read this, it didn't sound like me speaking, all right? It didn't sound rigid. It made sense. It was very professional. Of all of the gigs so far, I really enjoyed For the Content World. Well done. At about 12:57, he was not supposed to do 1,257. Oh yeah, and by the way, 5 thumbs up. My video editor can probably do 5 thumbs on the screen, right? And we're gonna go 5 banana stickers. Well done. This last gig was done by Apiskar. Again, some good friends over at Fiverr actually recommended him, and I wasn't disappointed, but for 165 bucks, I was a little bit hesitant because I'm like, oh my gosh, I spent even less than that on some of these other gigs and I got a great return. He actually did the blog post for our pilot episode of Book Rescue, where we actually helped an author out inside the community. So this one really, I couldn't spare any expense because this was a big passion project of mine. So a blog post that was inferior was not gonna work out. So this is why I really trusted my friends over at Fiverr on this one, because I was like, okay, let's make sure this works. So he changed up the name of this to How One Independent Author Supercharged His Marketing Work. I am gonna tell you this right now. Again, kind of like the last one, For the Content World, and the one before that, Court Honey, this was magnificent. Great formatting. Didn't go all over the place, didn't do a bunch of colored writing or anything else like this. He put in a couple links, inbound and outbound. I kind of like this. he built out a story that really shared so much within that book rescue episode. And I just got to tell you this gives me the feels just reading this. So Apiscar, though he runs at a bit of a higher premium at about $165, I really truly do appreciate that. At about 1,200 words, he made sure that he tapped that emotion, that he really brought the feels on this one. So this one was well done. Again, the links are inside the description down below for each of the sellers and their respective blog posts, and also find out which blog post writer I prefer the most out of all of the 5 of them. You can actually take a look at that inside this link here to the specific blog post. And also, while we're at it, I want you to take a look at this very next video. I hired 10 designers for the same cover. Find out what happens, and then YouTube recommends you take a look at this. You got a few choices. I'll see you in any one of them.